Go there. Go there.
Hey.
Ready, Watcher.
Yeah. Hey.
I can't get there. Cool.
What?
Get on!
I'm stuck.
No, you're not. Have to rest here. Want to. Have to.
I'm on the trail.
I might have to. Have to go all the way back. Kind of had that off. There we go. Yep. Have to explore all these again. Didn't know I had to uncheck that just to make sure that worked again. Something running in the background. Let me check. I think I've got something running in the background. It should not be that wonky today. Lines of concentration. Put that on huge, just in case. All right now. So what else have I got with you? So yeah, I'm gonna have to rest with you. Maybe not so. Nah.
Laying low. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The deeds of my tongue and oh, that's not it. Friendly person.
Let's
Oh, not a friendly person.
go.
Yeah, I'll just go round and round the roses.
Hey.
That'll be easier. Go round and round the roses. Doo 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 doo.
Huh?
Annoying, but alright. So he was just a fairly new person, it seems. Queen that was and still is. I'm not going to read them because generally when I read it, it's going to tell me what it is anyway. So. Right, seems like there's more to this place. Oh, he's going to knock my guy down. I'm going to knock him down. Maybe. I can go with that one. Alright. Oh, you
Ready,
first.
Watcher.
Here's somebody.
That's not very helpful.
Keeping quiet.
Keeping quiet. In my secret door.
That's unusual.
Yes. Disarm, right? So everybody go back.
Yeah.
Should be able just to get around this, right? That's okay. I'm alright.
Yeah.
We got we got it. Burn freeze spell. Grants wood skin when you're hit by crits. Okay.
Steady does it.
Anything else? Right, well we definitely have to heal now, so let's just do that now. Jeez man. Getting my ass whipped here. Quite literally. Ass whipped. You awake to see Durance, his staff held in both his hands before him. A flame flickers at the top end, casting long shadows across his face as he stares in contemplation. Still, for all the light of the fire, your eyes can't focus on him. Perhaps it is awakening from sleep or a trick of the light, but he seems instinctive, blurred around the edges, everything except for the staff. The staff, he seems to be studying its engravings. As you watch, the engravings glow, thinly red, like through the cracks of heat suffused wood. The lines stream like molten metal, burning along the edges of its staff, then branch out in intrinsic series of fiery veins, bunching thickly where the hands clutch the wood, pulsing as if a heartbeat. As you watch, the veins spiral into a dozen separate circles, circles that spiral again until they are arranged in a circle of their own. They pulse, wait, and all is strangely silent. And then suddenly there is a great light from the fire, a rushing of air, a great flash, and you awaken again to see Durance in the same place, still holding his staff, but he is solid, real. He doesn't seem to have noticed you or reacted to what occurred. What's going on? I had a question I want to ask
If
you.
doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your knuckles on the wrong door.
Wrong door. So I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw a great light from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
It was a flash like an explosion, a rushing of air, incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
The Godhammer. What about it?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
I killing everything else. What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
You helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who would come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
Shadows of the 12.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were 12 shadows cast, 12 faithful of Margaren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
The Godhammer. Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into rings of flames, one after the other, until 12 is met.
As 12 held Eothas fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
And it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle lit like flame, intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Margaren.
Durance frowns and moves his gaze from the staff. So what do you mean, shared their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margaren, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without.
No doubt.
Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margaren was pleased by what we had done.
Surprised he's saying that, truth be told.
The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart, perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing 2 gods. Even as Margaren shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed, just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind, Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaren's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
What did you do?
I remembered Margaren's teachings, how reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal?
Shakes his head.
As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees. Wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margren at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
He does have some sort of conscience.
The road to Ashfall is long. Gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that had asked. Grab victory from defeat and
And now he's having second thoughts, but now he thinks she betrayed him. It's a weird one, this.
there is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests. Did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
Doesn't seem like your goddess will ever forgive you. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is, for once, at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Huh? Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time, you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you, and staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff. Yeah, I think he's gone, by the way.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Here we go. He thinks he's been purified, alright. Okay, if I go on this one again, is it just going to repeat? We chose the bridge because we could control it. Durance's hands tightening at the top of the staff, as if holding it by the neck. It was a place where we could choke Aethys in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was a spine of the deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Durance studies his staff, his eyes travelling along the etchings. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens and his eyes burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Eos knew that as well, and so did his vessel. In its arrogance, his hands tightening around his staff. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the back of Deerwood, as we intended to burn him with the light of our faith and his, 12 of the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. Gave yourself to it?
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer.
The malice in
Such
your
a device is not
anger,
simply
I
a
suppose.
machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Elements of the spirit?
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well.
Waidwin? Why?
We all studied Widewin. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that important?
You don't kill the god, you kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin, burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did, at the cost of our own, and at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
It sounds as if you fell victim of your own weapon.
Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the truth of the Godhammer, Watcher. I feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others. If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
It looked as if there was only part of you, as if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher.
Gosh, we're
I ask you
right.
to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Yeah, he's cracking, folks. I think he finally sees the error of his ways, even though he still thinks that he was still right. I go as far as that, truthfully. Right, I've got bits and bobs I want to share. Right, well, this is going to be interesting. Now it's sunny again. I wish the weather would make up its bloody mind. Yeah, so Durance is kind of having like no, I wouldn't say he's having he definitely feels some consequence of what he done. But he still has a hankering for the god, even though he says he doesn't. It certainly still seems that he's still there or present. It's quite weird. It's really weird. It's a lot of contradiction in my opinion. Steward of Cairn, received a letter for you. This too.
Sagani, does your fox bite? A moment, please.
Can I pet him anyway?
I feel I should
It's your
explain
hand.
myself. I'm gonna pet him.
Oh, please. Yes. Explain yourself, because you went like loopy-doo in there, mate.
Aye?
Quite a wee bit.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
Tell me now. He clasped his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm, though I thought I could keep it to myself. That's when we resolved the matter of your soul. we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
See, 'cause, that is an understatement, that one. He closes his eyes and grits his teeth, his lip quiver and twitch with the visages of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Kind of going like the other guy. Why didn't you say something
I
sooner?
learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
That's who it was, Merwald. Kind of he's got the same infliction or something like that.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
Oh, did I just get booted off Twitch here? Okay, I don't know. Something went down. I don't know what it was though. But it says I'm still live, so I'll give it to that. So maybe like he's got a demon inside him, possibly.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
Yes. He grimaces, running his hand through his hair. I have none of her memories. Bereth spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable high speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. Hey, whoa. You try to say like Scottish people are old, because hey, we are kind of old and we don't have the manners and stuff like that, but hey, steady on there, pal. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict. When the fuse has burned down and teeth are on edge, and when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation, she just acts. Brilliant. She seems reckless. Obviously. That's it exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale? Yes, I did. She doesn't think and she doesn't back down. Trying to suppress that has been my problem for years. Is this going to be a problem? Well, I think it will be.
Merely an annoyance. Although...
Barely an annoyance. I just killed 3 farmers because of that, okay? He lowers his voice and clasps the hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
If it's helpful to you, yep. Just try and get this dealt with.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
Let's talk about something else. Alright. Lovely. Find an expert on awakening.